What if the biggest reason your knees hurt after 50 isn't actually your knees? What if the pain, stiffness, weakness, and instability you've been blaming on aging are really symptoms of a completely different problem? Every day, millions of adults over 50 wake up and experience the same frustrating routine. They swing their legs out of bed, they place their feet on the floor, and then it happens. That first painful step, that stiffness, that hesitation, that uncomfortable feeling that wasn't there years ago. Some people feel it while climbing stairs, others feel it while standing up from a chair. Some notice it after a long walk, others feel it after sitting still for too long. Eventually, many come to the same conclusion. My knees are wearing out. I'm getting older. This is just part of life now. But here's what most people don't realize. That belief may be preventing them from addressing the real problem. And the real problem often starts long before the knee begins hurting. This changes everything, because when people understand what's actually happening inside their bodies after 50, they begin looking at knee pain in a completely different way. And what happens next surprises most people, because the exercises that often make the biggest difference aren't extreme. They don't require expensive equipment. They don't require hours in a gym. And they don't require pushing through severe pain. Instead, they focus on something far more important: support. Let's start with a hidden truth that many people never hear. Your knees were never designed to work alone. Think about that for a moment. Every step you take involves dozens of muscles working together. Your hips, your thighs, your calves, your ankles. Even your core muscles play a role. The knee sits right in the middle of this system. And when the system works properly, movement feels smooth and effortless. But when parts of that system begin weakening, the knee often becomes the first place where problems appear. Imagine a suspension bridge. The bridge depends on multiple support cables. If one cable weakens, the entire structure experiences more stress. The same thing happens inside your body. When the muscles surrounding the knee become weak, the knee absorbs forces that those muscles were supposed to handle. And this is where the hidden damage begins, not necessarily inside the joint itself, but within the support network surrounding it. The real problem starts when people don't notice this happening, because muscle loss rarely announces itself. It happens quietly, gradually, year after year. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly lose strength. Instead, little things begin changing. You choose the elevator instead of the stairs. You walk shorter distances. You sit a little more. You move a little less. Then those little choices slowly become habits. And over time, the body adapts. Unfortunately, it adapts in the wrong direction. Here's what most people don't realize. After age 50, adults naturally begin losing muscle mass. This process occurs in nearly everyone. It's one of the most common physical changes associated with aging. The muscles become smaller. The muscles become weaker. The muscles become less responsive. And because this happens slowly, most people don't notice until daily activities become harder. Standing up feels different. Walking feels different. Stairs feel different. And then one day, knee pain appears. Many people immediately blame the knee, but the real issue may have been developing for years. The knee was simply the messenger. Your body was trying to warn you. And unfortunately, many people respond in a way that makes everything worse. They stop moving. At first, this seems logical. If movement hurts, avoid movement, right? But here's the problem. Movement is what keeps muscles strong. Movement is what keeps joints nourished. Movement is what keeps balance systems active. Without movement, weakness accelerates, and weakness creates even more instability. Then instability creates more discomfort. Then discomfort creates even less movement. And suddenly, a vicious cycle begins. Pain leads to inactivity. Inactivity leads to weakness. Weakness leads to more pain. The cycle continues. Many adults spend years trapped inside that loop. But here's the good news. That cycle can often be reversed. And it starts by strengthening the support system surrounding the knee. Now let's talk about the first exercise. This exercise may look simple. In fact, some people dismiss it because it appears too easy. That would be a mistake. It's called the seated leg extension. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair. Slowly straighten one leg until it is nearly parallel with the floor. Hold briefly, then slowly lower it back down. Repeat with control. That's it. No machines, no complicated techniques, no special equipment. But here's why this exercise matters. It targets the quadriceps. These large muscles on the front of your thighs play an enormous role in knee stability. Think of them as shock absorbers. Every time you walk, stand, climb stairs, or rise from a chair, your quadriceps help absorb force. When they're strong, the knee receives support. When they're weak, the knee receives stress. This is why strengthening them can be so important. And here's something fascinating. Many people performing this exercise for the first time quickly discover how weak these muscles have become. Their legs shake. They tire quickly. The movement feels harder than expected. That's not failure. That's information. It's your body revealing an area that needs attention. And once those muscles begin strengthening, everything starts changing. Now let's move to the second exercise. If there were only one movement that represented independence, this might be it. The sit to stand. You already perform this movement every day. The question is whether you're maintaining the strength needed to keep doing it comfortably. Sit in a chair. Stand up slowly, then sit back down slowly. Simple, yet incredibly powerful. Here's what most people don't realize. Every time you stand up, dozens of muscles activate simultaneously. Your thighs, your hips, your core, your balance system, even your feet contribute. This exercise trains all of them together. And because it mimics a real-life activity, improvements often transfer directly into daily life. Many older adults begin noticing that standing from the couch becomes easier. Getting out of the car feels smoother. Using stairs becomes less intimidating. These improvements aren't magic. They're the result of rebuilding strength where strength has quietly disappeared. Now let's talk about something many people overlook completely. The connection between balance and knee health. Most adults don't think about balance until they begin losing it. But balance starts changing long before people notice. The brain constantly communicates with muscles throughout the body. Thousands of tiny adjustments happen every minute. These adjustments help keep you stable. But here's what most people don't realize. Balance behaves like strength. If you don't use it, you lose it. The less active a person becomes, the more this system declines. This creates another hidden problem. Fear. People become afraid of falling, afraid of instability, afraid of unexpected movements. That fear causes them to move less, and once again, the cycle grows stronger. That's why simple balance exercises matter. Try standing near a sturdy support. Lift one foot slightly off the floor. Hold for several seconds. Then switch sides. At first, many people are shocked by how difficult this feels. But difficulty doesn't mean danger. It simply means the system needs practice, and practice creates improvement. Now let's discuss a hidden factor that affects almost every part of the aging body. Inflammation. When most people hear the word inflammation, they imagine dramatic swelling. But inflammation often develops quietly, without obvious signs, without obvious symptoms. And after age 50, several factors can contribute to it. Poor sleep, stress, excess body weight, inactivity, unhealthy dietary habits. All of these can influence how the body feels. Here's what most people don't realize. Inflammation doesn't just affect joints. It can affect muscles, recovery, energy levels, mobility, and overall comfort. This is one reason movement becomes so important. Appropriate exercise helps support circulation, and circulation plays a major role in recovery. Think about what happens during a walk. Blood flow increases, muscles activate, joints move through healthy ranges of motion. The entire body becomes more active. This is why many people feel better after gentle movement than they do after sitting still all day. The body was built to move, not to remain motionless. Now let's talk about another mystery that confuses many adults. Morning stiffness. Why do knees often feel worse when you first wake up? Here's what most people don't realize. During sleep, your body remains relatively inactive for hours. Joint fluid circulates less. Muscles remain still. Connective tissues temporarily stiffen. Then morning arrives, you stand up. Movement begins. Circulation improves. Muscles activate. And gradually, stiffness decreases. This is why many people report feeling better after moving around for 10 or 15 minutes. Their bodies are essentially warming up. And this provides a very important clue. Movement is often part of the solution, not the problem. Now let's discuss one of the most underrated exercises for knee strength, the calf raise. Stand near a wall, chair, or countertop. Slowly rise onto your toes. Pause briefly, then lower yourself back down. Simple, but don't underestimate it. Your calf muscles play a major role in walking. They absorb shock. They assist with balance. They help stabilize movement. And when they weaken, additional stress often travels upward toward the knee. Everything in the body is connected. The knee doesn't operate independently. It functions as part of a larger chain. When one link weakens, the entire chain becomes less efficient. And that's exactly why calf strength matters. Many people never connect calf weakness to knee discomfort, yet improving calf strength can significantly improve overall movement quality. And that's only the beginning, because the next exercise may be one of the most powerful movements for rebuilding confidence after 50. It's called the step-up. And what makes it so effective isn't just the muscles it strengthens. It's what it teaches your body to do. Because this exercise closely mimics one of the most common daily challenges older adults face: stairs. And what happens when people regain confidence on stairs often surprises them, because it doesn't just change how they move, it changes how they think about movement itself. Now let's continue with one of the most valuable exercises for strengthening the entire support system around your knees: the step-up. At first glance, it doesn't look impressive. You simply step onto a low platform or stair and then step back down. That's it. But here's what most people don't realize. This single movement trains strength, balance, coordination, stability, and confidence all at the same time. And after 50, confidence becomes just as important as strength. Because many adults stop doing certain activities not because they're physically incapable, but because they're afraid. Afraid of falling, afraid of pain, afraid that one wrong step could make everything worse. Over time, that fear quietly shrinks their world. They stop taking walks, they avoid stairs, they decline invitations, they stay home more often. The body becomes weaker, and the cycle continues. This is why rebuilding confidence is so important. The step-up helps retrain the body for real-life movement. Every repetition teaches your muscles and nervous system to work together again. Slowly, safely, consistently, and consistency is where the magic happens. Not perfection, not intensity, consistency. Now let's talk about another hidden cause of knee problems that almost nobody discusses: hip weakness. This surprises many people. After all, if your knee hurts, why would your hips matter? Here's why. The hips control much of the movement of the legs. Every step begins at the hips. Every stride depends on them. Every stair climbed depends on them. When hip muscles weaken, the knees often compensate. And compensation creates stress. Imagine driving a car with poor wheel alignment. Eventually, the tires wear unevenly. The same principle applies to the body. Poor movement patterns create uneven stress. And over time, that stress often shows up as discomfort. One of the simplest exercises for hip strength is the standing side leg raise. Stand beside a chair or countertop. Slowly move one leg out to the side. Pause, then return it. The movement should be controlled. No swinging, no rushing, just steady movement. This exercise targets muscles that help stabilize the pelvis and control leg movement. And stronger hips often lead to more stable knees. Now here's something fascinating. Many people think stronger knees automatically come from working the knees harder. But often, stronger knees come from strengthening everything around them. This changes everything, because suddenly knee health becomes a full-body project rather than a single-joint problem. Now let's talk about walking. Walking may be the most underrated exercise in the world. People often overlook it because it's so familiar. But here's what most people don't realize. Walking activates dozens of muscles simultaneously. It improves circulation. It challenges balance. It supports joint mobility. It improves endurance. It encourages healthy movement patterns. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds the body how to move. The real problem starts when walking disappears from daily life. The body adapts quickly. Unfortunately, it adapts to inactivity just as quickly as it adapts to exercise. This is why even short daily walks can be powerful. You don't need marathon distances. You don't need speed. You simply need consistency. A 10-minute walk performed regularly is often more valuable than an hour-long workout performed once every few weeks. Small actions repeated consistently create remarkable results. Now let's discuss another issue many adults experience: nighttime knee discomfort. Have you ever noticed your knees feel more uncomfortable in the evening? If so, you're not alone. Many people experience this, and there are several possible reasons. After a full day of activity, tissues may be tired. Inflammation may be slightly elevated. Muscles may be tight. Circulation patterns may change. The answer isn't always complete rest. In many cases, gentle movement can help. A short walk, light stretching, simple mobility exercises. These activities often help reduce stiffness and improve comfort. The body generally prefers movement over immobility. That's an important concept to remember. Now let's talk about body weight. This topic can be sensitive, but it matters. Here's what most people don't realize. The force traveling through the knees during walking is significantly greater than body weight alone. Each additional pound increases the workload placed upon the joints. This doesn't mean people need dramatic weight loss. Not at all. Even small improvements can make a meaningful difference. What's interesting is that movement often makes healthy changes easier. When people become stronger, they move more. When they move more, they often feel better. When they feel better, they frequently make healthier choices. Positive momentum begins building, and positive momentum is incredibly powerful. Now let's discuss another hidden factor: sleep. Many adults underestimate how important sleep is for knee health. During sleep, the body performs countless repair processes. Muscles recover. Hormones regulate. Inflammation is managed. Tissues repair. Poor sleep can affect all of these systems. This is why people who sleep poorly often report more discomfort, more fatigue, and slower recovery. Your body is trying to warn you. Recovery matters. Strength isn't built only during exercise. Strength is built during recovery, and recovery often begins with quality sleep. Now let's look at a real-life example. Imagine a 67-year-old woman named Linda. Several years ago, she loved gardening. She enjoyed long walks with friends. She stayed active. Then knee discomfort gradually appeared. At first, she ignored it. Then she became cautious. Eventually, she started avoiding activities she once loved. The less she moved, the worse she felt. Simple tasks became frustrating. Stairs became intimidating. Standing from low chairs became difficult. She assumed her knees were simply getting older. But then something changed. She learned about muscle weakness. She learned about balance. She learned about the role of the hips and thighs. Most importantly, she learned that movement was not necessarily her enemy. So she started small: leg extensions, sit-to-stands, calf raises, balance exercises, short daily walks. Nothing dramatic, nothing extreme, just consistency. The first week felt ordinary. The second week felt slightly easier. After 1 month, she noticed standing felt smoother. After 2 months, she felt more stable. After several months, she realized something remarkable. Her confidence had returned, and confidence changed everything. She began moving more. She began enjoying activity again. She stopped focusing entirely on pain and started focusing on strength. That shift transformed her approach to health. And that's an important lesson, because stronger knees aren't just about knees, they're about freedom. Now let's talk about the timeline of improvement. This is where many people become discouraged. They expect immediate results. The body rarely works that way. During the first few days, you may simply notice muscles becoming active. You may feel mild fatigue. That's normal. The body is adapting. During the first 2 or 3 weeks, many people notice subtle changes. Standing becomes easier. Walking feels smoother. Balance improves slightly. Energy may increase. After 1 to 2 months, changes often become more noticeable. Daily activities require less effort. Stairs feel less intimidating. Confidence begins growing. After several months, consistent effort can create substantial improvements in strength, mobility, and function. Not perfection. Not miracles. Improvement. And improvement matters, because improvement creates momentum. Now let's discuss one of the biggest mistakes people make: doing too much too soon. This happens constantly. Someone becomes motivated. They decide to transform their health overnight. They exercise aggressively. They push too hard. Their body becomes overwhelmed. Discomfort increases. Then they quit. The better approach is patience. Think of strength like growing a tree. You don't plant a seed today and expect shade tomorrow. Growth takes time. Consistency matters. Small actions matter. Daily effort matters. When it comes to strengthening knees after 50, patience often produces better results than intensity. Now let's put everything together into a simple daily routine. Start with seated leg extensions. Perform 2 or 3 sets of controlled repetitions. Next, practice sit to stands. Move slowly. Focus on control. Then perform calf raises. Rise onto your toes and lower yourself carefully. After that, practice single leg balance exercises near a sturdy support. Then add a short walk. Finally, finish with gentle stretching if comfortable. That's it. No complicated equipment. No expensive memberships. No impossible routines. Just simple movements that target the support system your knees depend upon every day. Here's what most people don't realize. The goal isn't simply reducing discomfort. The goal is maintaining independence. The ability to walk where you want. The ability to travel. The ability to enjoy time with family. The ability to participate in life. That's what stronger knees really provide. Before we finish, there's something important to remember. Exercise is powerful, but it isn't a substitute for professional medical care. If you experience severe pain, sudden swelling, locking of the joint, major injury, significant instability, or symptoms that continue worsening, consult a qualified healthcare professional. Those situations deserve proper evaluation. There's no shame in seeking help. In fact, it's one of the smartest things you can do. Now let's end with a truth that many people need to hear. Your body is not as fragile as you may think. Yes, aging changes the body. That's reality. But aging does not automatically mean decline. The body remains adaptable. Muscles can become stronger. Balance can improve. Endurance can improve. Confidence can return. And that message is incredibly important, because too many people assume their best years of movement are behind them. Too many people accept limitations that may not be permanent. Too many people underestimate what consistent effort can achieve. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body is listening to everything you do. Every step, every walk, every exercise, every healthy choice. The body responds. The body adapts. The body changes. And that's why today's actions matter so much. A stronger future isn't built in one workout. It's built through thousands of small decisions. One repetition, one walk, one day at a time. Because stronger knees don't come from secret shortcuts. They come from strengthening the muscles that support them. They come from improving balance. They come from staying active. They come from consistency. And when you commit to those simple principles, something remarkable often happens. Movement becomes easier. Confidence becomes stronger. Life becomes bigger. And the things you once thought were disappearing begin returning again. The freedom to walk, the freedom to explore, the freedom to enjoy life without constantly thinking about your knees. And that may be the greatest benefit of all. Because when your knees feel stronger, life feels larger. And sometimes, the journey toward that stronger life begins with the simplest exercises imaginable.